All right, let's get started. If it's your first time here, this is a Q&A. We're the Rec Room devs, or some of them at least. We'll raise hands. I'll call on people. You guys can ask questions about anything in Rec Room. So
Meaningless. I can hear you.
Rick, raise your hand. If you have a question, we'll call on you and you can ask a question. If you can't hear me, come a little forward.
No, I can't hear him at all.
Also try muting him and unmuting him.
Can most people hear me? Raise your hand if you can hear me.
Actually, no.
Raise your hand if you can't.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, it seems like most people can hear me. If you can't hear me, come forward or mute and unmute me. See if you can get that to work. Okay, let's go to questions. Who has a question?
No.
Oh. All right. Midnight tonight. What do you got?
I'm trying to remember.
Lights aren't working.
When will Recreo come back?
When will Rec Royale come back? Radiant Blur, you want to step up here and answer that question?
Or Google. It's not working, I don't think.
Hey, we can hear
Yeah, it's the microphone's not working. Oh,
No,
I don't hear it.
Working.
I can't. Can anyone hear him?
Yeah.
Nope.
No.
No, me neither.
Nope.
Radiant Blur, we can't hear you. You're gonna draw. You're gonna charades it. Here, have
It's
the maker
June
pen.
7th is what he's saying.
June 7th, Thursday. A week from tomorrow.
Why is this not working? Oh, great.
All right, let's try.
Can you hear me?
No, we might need to cancel this, but let's keep trying.
Can?
Next question. Now, someone who hasn't asked a question yet.
I can hear you now.
All right, right here, left
Combo
click.
has one.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can hear you.
Can anyone hear me?
This is gonna be fun.
No?
Yeah.
Yes?
Okay, so I have two questions. One is about just normal stuff, and the other is about Rec Royale.
Okay.
Are you going to make separate servers
God.
for?
Who is that?
I believe it's Elk.
All right, Carter's got it.
As I was saying,
Everyone just stares at him.
as I was saying.
Come on, quiet down. Let's listen to Left Twix's question.
Okay, so in Rec Royale, are there going to be separate servers for teaming, like just for teams? And my second question is when I pull up what's it, places, like when I try to see the information of rooms on a
Yes.
different page, like if you go like to a
Yeah,
different
let me
page
try
and
and-
then you try to click information, it just
Okay.
sends you back to, like, it tells you the information of the first page.
Okay, so if I go to play, I'm gonna talk to your second question first. So if I go to play, I go to second page, I hit information on something, you're getting information from the thing on the last page in that spot.
Yeah.
Okay,
No,
I don't think we've seen that bug.
always-
I'll definitely
it always
take a note of
takes
that.
me to the first. It always takes
Are
me
other
to the
people seeing
first
that too?
page. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, what
Okay.
system are you using?
I'm using PS4.
PS4, okay. And then the first question was, are we gonna do different servers for different types of Rec Royale matches? Is that correct?
Teaming.
Like teaming, for example. Radiant Blur, are you able to talk again?
8 versus 8.
Are you able to
Okay. Yeah.
I can hear you.
Get up towards the edge of the stage though, because the microphone. No, the microphone's not working.
Oh, the microphone is
Yeah,
not
I
working.
hear
The
him.
microphone,
microphone
is
is a
overriding the
muting
audio.
For
device.
some reason.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's a muting device.
Yeah.
The last discussion I had with our community manager, who's looking at the teaming a lot over the coming 2 weeks up until we release.
can't hear you.
Yes, we
Yeah, what? Yeah, we can.
I can't.
Come forward if you can't hear
If
him.
you can't hear him in the back, come forward.
Come closer.
The current plan is that the scope for what we can do for June 7th is solos mode, and we will do a more thorough job of communicating that the mode is for solos. There is recourse for reporting players who are teaming in that mode. But in addition to that, we want to do a better job of supporting people who want to team and all get in agreement to play in a way that enables teaming. So I think Mama Monkey had a great idea over the over the alpha, which was to dedicate a room for people to get together and run that type of style. The long-term plan is we definitely want to do a duos mode. You can expect that to come. We want to make sure we know all of the things we want to support for that, and we will keep an eye on it quickly after release.
All right, who else has a question?
Alright.
I do.
All right, let's go over here. Let's go Lazy Gingy.
Okay, since we're on the subject of Rec Royale, do you have what are the content updates you already have in mind for Rec Royale?
Radiant Blur, what are the content updates you have in
Yeah.
mind for Rec Royale? You should just stay right up here.
Yeah, you really should.
The real answer to that is we know a lot of things that we want to add, but it's really going to be all about what we can get in for release. So things you can expect in release is more points of interest in the map, a lot more to do within points of interest, a more clearly communicated solos mode. But any real details about what comes later is all for us to figure out once we release and for us to release to you guys once we actually implement it. But no concrete plans yet.
All right, Malcolm Flex, what's your question?
I noticed there's like a select amount of hairstyles. Are we like ever gonna see like more hairstyles to choose from?
No, you're stuck.
That's
That's all you get.
Let's get some more anime hairstyles.
Alkmaar, Odzilla, do you guys want? One of you guys want to take this?
I will make more hairs eventually.
If you,
I love the effort.
Yeah, if you guys have like suggestions, I read through the suggestions and everything. Yeah, I made a few recently. I'll make more as basically like I have a list of things I want to make, and I have a longer list of things that I have to do first. So I kind of like squeeze them in when I have time. So yeah, but yes, more hairstyles eventually.
and Malcolm Flex, are you looking for a particular hairstyle?
More like I guess like
Goku.
natural hairstyles, like because like all the hairstyles besides one kind of like are hairstyles I can actually have like reflect my current hairstyle.
Like
So-
left and right versions of the
Can we
hairstyles.
have bright red hair?
Colors, different colors for hair. We've had that suggestion before. All right, let's go to the next question. Zora, how about you?
I got two questions. One for the rec center and for the store. The store, I've been looking around for goggles. Are you guys gonna add different types or adding more into the feature? And for the rec
you're talking.
She sounds like she's a.
So go ahead, ask your second question.
villain.
And for the rec center, I was thinking, are you going to expand it or like change it, making it way better or bigger, able to join in and to make it like invite only?
All right, I'll answer your first question, and then Odzilla, do you want to take the rec center question?
Sure.
Okay, so the first question was, are we going to add these goggles right here to the back to the store? The sort of sci-fi goggles in the first row here. Maybe. So right now we're looking at maybe redesigning those goggles. I don't think they'll appear in this exact version in the store, but you'll probably get a new version of them at some point.
Recolor.
And then the question for Odzilla is, are we going to change the rec center, make it bigger, do anything with it? Is that right, Zora?
Yeah, like making it invite only for like so I can invite my own friends into it and expanding it. More people.
Okay, so you're trying to get more people into it?
Yeah.
I can't
Go ahead.
speak to whether or not you'll be able to make it invite only. We will be overhauling it pretty soon. It may not actually be bigger, but we hope it's easier to find all the cool user-made stuff once we redesign it.
Ooh.
I'm intrigued.
No.
All right, next question.
Easter egg.
Yo.
He skipped right over.
How about Shub?
I don't know which one.
Will you guys be thinking
I got
about
it.
maybe adding in the laser tag kind of market, but for Rec Royale? And you could maybe get backpacks.
So the question is, are we going to add a store like Lasertag has to Rec Royale? We have a different plan for how we're going to get out items in Rec Royale, and you'll see that on Thursday. We think it's going to be super fun. It is not
Thursday,
like the
meaning the
Lasertag
7th.
store, but you might
Not tomorrow.
recognize it. Yeah. Did I say tomorrow?
No, you said Thursday, but tomorrow's
Sorry.
also a Thursday.
Yes, that Thursday. Release Thursday. Okay, let's get out of the first row. Let's go up a little bit. Itchiest, what's your question?
Will there be a level cap increase in the future?
Yes.
Thank you. I've been wondering that.
Yeah, it is the number one requested thing on what is that, Canny?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering because it didn't have any like
Let's get it up
dev
to
responses.
50
What it
or
seems like.
100.
So it's definitely something that we're paying more attention to. We sort of always had it in the plan, but since it's number one on Canny right now, we're paying a little more attention to it than we have been. I'm not going to say anytime soon, but it's definitely something we're looking at.
That's what I want to know is if Recnet.
All right, next question. Let's go up to someone whose name I can't read in the hat right there. Yep.
Are there going to be more activities?
Are there going to be more activities?
No, we're
Yeah.
Radiant Blur, do you want to answer a question around are there going to be more activities?
We have
Love your
hit peak.
sarcasm.
We have
Well,
hit
we get
peak
Rec Royale on
activities. If we
June
add any
7th.
more, the rec center will explode.
He's kidding. There will definitely be more activities.
all sarcasm up here. Yes, eventually.
I love
We will
it.
sneak
So
sneak
hilarious.
Rec Royale right in under there.
Yeah, Rec Royale's coming out next
Yeah.
week, and then we're going to continue to add more activities after that. All right, Sparky in the back.
A question about Rec Royale, and then an answer to her question when I was talking about Easter egg. For Rec Royale, what I'm hoping is that y'all allow how you have the bees swarm in and the map's functional. If we can custom build on that map and still use the Rec Royale function, so that way we can maybe redecorate what's already on the map, but add nothing but just maker pin objects. I'd be perfectly fine with that. So that way the map can be a little redesigned, or maybe add more walls or things, little stuff like that. And
So you
then
want to
the
use the
second thing I was
Rec
talking
Royale
about
map?
was if you spawn in from the dorm room going into the rec center,
Oh, I
the
get what
wall
he's
to your
saying.
right, you can walk around all the way through an invisible floor as if it had a hallway dedicated for it already. And it's a wide open space that lets you walk around the rec center outside the map. And a lot of people figure maybe
Immediately,
that's where
like,
y'all
start
would
forehead
expand
sweating.
the outside of the rec center to that area. Maybe
I
that's more
see.
walkable.
I see. We'll have to, Audrey, in your or Godzilla in your rec center redo. Maybe take a look at that invisible wall.
Yeah.
Invisible
And then
floor.
Sparky, to be clear, your first question was, you want to use the Rec Royale map for custom rooms?
Yeah, basically,
But
but
still
still
at the
have the
same
game
function.
function work without it like. Sometimes you
Oh,
make
like
a
the walls
sandbox game
close
and it
in
won't
and
let you
stuff.
play.
Oh, I
the
get what
game
you're saying. I
like
get what you're
new
saying.
Rec Royale map. You want to make compared to actually being able to play the actual game.
No,
and
what I
still
think you're
use
saying is
whatever
like how in
objects you
custom
built.
rooms you can use a map that already exists, like paintball, but edit it a little. I think that's what you're saying.
Yeah, I think so. John, correct me if or Radiant Blur, correct me if I'm wrong here, but
You are bad at this.
I am bad at this. So next week I think we're just gonna launch it and not allow so much customization at first. But down the road, I think we'll find ways to get more and more ways for you guys to customize the game. Like with everything else, like we really want you guys to expand what's available in Rec Room and Rec Royale. I assume will eventually be part of that.
I
That
understand
seem
that
right?
your hardest thing would be all the playable objects. That's the thing that I understand. That the reason why it wouldn't be just coming instantly is because of the amount of playable objects, and I'm guessing maker pin objects probably make that twice as laggy than it is now. The way
There are some perf issues
Yeah,
too. Yes.
It's
Yeah,
a very
already.
expensive
The
room.
main issue
Yeah.
really is performance.
Yeah, we're totally with you. We want people to be able to use that as there's a
I
lot
can't
of
hear him if he's talking.
different things to do
You
in
gotta
that
get a little
map.
closer
Good
to
forward.
To the edge of the stage there, Radiant Blur.
We definitely want to support building your own rooms in that scene. Our priority for shipping is just to make sure that it runs really well for Rec Royale, but expect we will improve it to run and accommodate your own custom games.
Did y'all add proximity chat?
We're working on that kind of thing.
We changed the way the way the sounds work, and so I think that's what we're
Yeah.
seeing in here. I think the bugs around that.
Yeah.
All right, Exuberant Bad in the back there.
Register the accounts
Okay.
1,000 tokens. Is it possible for the people who registered the accounts in the past to get 1,000 tokens?
Exuberant Bad is asking. So we have if you register your account, you're getting 1,000 tokens now, and so Exuberant Bad is asking if you've already registered, can you get those 1,000 tokens? I don't think we're going to do that, but we are going to give you ways to get new tokens in our next ship. You'll see a new type of challenges that lets you get more tokens. So keep an eye out for that. Jack Daniels, the Jack Daniels in the back there.
Hey.
So I have a few questions about custom rooms.
Okay.
The first one is about tokens. I just want to clarify. I'm aware that creators get tokens and split with their co-owners. So let's say you get 500 tokens. Is that 500 split between all the co-owners, or each co-owner get 500?
I'm not trying. So the tokens do get split between the co-owners.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's we award a room tokens, and then those tokens get split evenly amongst all co-owners.
Okay. And I guess my second question is, I don't know if you guys are allowed to answer this or not, but I've noticed with my page, Jack Funds on the first page, it fluctuates a lot daily between the first page and by the end of the day, even though I could have like 15 people there on average, it's like on the fourth page. Like, is there anything specifically creators can do to try to keep us steady, like where the page is? Because like, what's going on? It seems really. I know you guys can't give out too much details to avoid people exploiting it, but what's kind of going on there?
I think what we're saying now is engagement. So keep players excited about your room, keep players coming to your room, staying in your room and engaging with it, playing whatever's there. If you keep doing that stuff, then you'll see yourself rise in the ranks.
All right. Well, I forget my third question, but thank you for the two questions.
That's all right. Thank you, Jack Daniels. Let's go right here to audio.
Yeah. I have two suggestions maybe for Rec Royale when it comes to things like the potions, the health potions, the grenades, and everything like that. I can understand like just having them holstered up to your waist is a good tactic, but if there would be a way to like store them somewhere else, maybe in the backpack, or maybe using your watch to like put stuff in your watch or something like that, maybe.
Ray and Blair, what do you think?
Stuff.
Yeah, I think we're gonna keep looking at ways to store items.
Come to the front. Stay there.
We're going to look at ways of storing more items if we need it. Current feeling is that we don't really need a whole bunch of new inventory slots if it stays the current set of items. But if we're ever pushing beyond just those, we would look at more inventory space.
Right. The second thing would be for people that stream and everything like that. Is there going to be like a HUD for like for the streamer cam? Like if there's going to be health or like everything, because the viewers can't see any of that.
Yeah. So I just talked with Sean, our community manager, again, and he got a good chance to chat with some of the streamers that did it during the weekend, and we got a lot of good feedback from them. And one of them was a couple of things that they were wanting to stream in first person. We're going to spend a little time to smooth that out and make sure that like a lot of the comfort options that we do for players, that doesn't necessarily need to show up in the stream. The stability of the HUD we're going to work on, but no current plans to actually show the player's inventory in a way that's not also player facing. But definitely open to suggestions for ways to make our streams more watchable.
Right. All right. Thank you.
Yep. All right. Noctado.
Hey,
What do you got?
Alright. So, one thing is that I really like the new backpack design that you guys put in. Really cool. I was wondering if that could be an accessory, because right now it's an in-game item, and I wouldn't really like it to be just an in-game item. Like I would like to wear it in the rec center. I don't care if it doesn't do any functions or anything or like that. I just liked like a backpack clothing item. And my second thing is if we could get categories for maybe the maker pen rooms, like you can just have like a list of categories like horror,
Nick, you're gonna get bounced.
whatever. Just to make it more organized for, players to see what they want to play. And then yeah.
Okay, so I'm hearing myself. Through Nick.
It has to be a host. We can't has to be a host.
Nick.
Yeah.
All right.
There we go.
All right. So sorry. Questions were you would I think so. You want a backpack as a clothing item. I think that's a great idea. It's not something we've talked about much, but I totally dig it. I can see if we can get that going. And the second question was you want a better organization of maker rooms.
Maybe, yeah, like categories, like say, I made this horror map. might as well just put it under the horror category, and anyone who wants to play a horror thing, then they can just go under there. You know what I mean?
What about everybody think about that?
I like that idea.
Yeah, we've heard that before. Like PvPs and that kind of stuff. So if somebody wants to play,
like, you know, you see on the thing, it's just always
That's a good idea.
PvPs, or it's just always this one map, and then you're like, oh, I want to see the other maps that other people made under different categories.
Yeah, we've certainly heard of a desire for categorization of rooms and like being able to tag your room in different categories and filter the current rooms by certain categories, and it's certainly something that we're thinking about and we'll probably implement in the future when the UGC or the custom rooms ecosystem is larger.
Yeah, definitely. All right, thank you.
All right, who's next here? How about Dr. Ching Chong Un?
All right. So my first question is, do you have any plans for adding like an algorithm to detect junior players that should be on junior accounts but aren't? My second question. Go ahead. You go ahead.
I don't know the answer to that. Is anyone thinking about junior account stuff? I don't think we have anything planned right now. It's just pretty hard to. We've tried some things like measuring player height or height differences and things like that, but it's pretty hard to actually know because different headsets will track height in different ways, and it's all pretty unreliable. Or like even if we were to like do some fancy voice recognition type thing, it's all super unreliable. So mostly we're relying on reports right now.
Yeah, exactly. That has been much more reliable than anything we could automate.
All right, because like it's really annoying going into a room and just having like 8 kids scream into your ears. That should be on junior accounts.
Nobody here disagrees with that at all.
Yeah, that's very true.
You said you had a second question?
I find it to be I actually have 3 questions.
Yeah.
My second question is, are you planning on eventually adding a hardcore mode to Rec Royale with like really low time to kill, like a faster bee swarm, harder hitting bee swarm, and
let us release it
spawns?
First.
Yeah.
Radiant Blood, you want to give that an answer?
Like, it's not out yet, but how do we make it even more challenging?
Yeah, so currently there are no concrete plans. There's a lot of different ways we could go with Rec Royale. We can our policy level thing is once we enable custom rooms, people can try things like this out, and we'll see where people are really interested, and if we need to spend time doing a formal version of it, we'll consider it.
And my third question. My third question is for the level cap question that you had earlier. Could we get like infinite prestiging? So it just has if somebody's a prestige, it just says P and then whatever prestige they are.
Yeah, prestiging is something we've definitely talked about when we talk about extending the level cap. So it's on our minds.
All right, thanks.
All right, who's next? Houtini, what do you got?
Houtini!
I'm disappointed.
So I just wanted to go kind of back with the categorization of the rooms. I was thinking, do you think it'd be cool to put back in when new rooms came up, like having a tab for new rooms? With the contest that just came out and happened, it was kind of tough to see where all the new rooms and everything were because it's sort of like you were beholden to if you got made it up on the hot list or not. And so I was just wondering, if like we could have like a tab again for new rooms so you could see like what's the newest stuff coming out.
Yeah, we hear that. So it's something we've talked about internally a couple times too. I think what we're trying to get to is like a way to sort the rooms that is showing the best stuff. And the worry with the new rooms is that it's going to be a lot of stuff that is not worth spending time in. And we really want to focus on like what's the highest quality stuff. And so we're trying to get our hot algorithm to, even if it's a newer thing, to try to surface it and get it in there. We've got some changes to that coming soon that we think will do a good job of getting the newer rooms into that list somewhere. But yeah, it's definitely something we talk about. All right, beautiful HBL. What's your question?
So I'm wondering if you would consider giving us pages of saved outfits that kind of grow like the friends list does. Like you save saved outfits and you just get more pages. Or are you like trying to not give us too many saved outfits to access?
Basically,
I
like
don't-
infinite.
Yeah, I don't think we have
basically
any
infinite.
policy around how many saved outfits. I think we just stopped at what fit on one page of them. But yeah, it sounds like there's a desire for having more saved outfits. Would other people be interested in that as well? Yeah. All right. I'm seeing some
Yeah, either
hands.
that,
Okay.
like, you know, just changing
Another-
items like in real time or something like that.
I'm just gonna
Anywhere.
imagine.
Yeah, I was talking
Yeah.
to somebody
Or
and they
like-
said that like how we have the access to the store and all the items is cool if we could just put on the ones that we already own, like just equip, you know?
Yeah, we actually had a design for this the store in the watch that was also an inventory of all of your stuff. We ended up scaling it back to just the store in the watch to so you guys could get to it sooner. But I could see us expanding it back to that at some point. Thank you.
You could put it in the backpack part.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Carry all
All
your clothing.
right. Who's next? A really bad dragon.
What about permanent? Hold on. What about permanent edits to dorm rooms? Because I'll make something with the creator pin and I leave, and when I come back, it's gone. So what about permanent edits?
Just make it a
Permanent edits to dorm rooms. Anyone want to take that?
We've
Vote a step up.
talked about it a few times.
Yeah, we've talked about this a few times, and I'm gonna channel Gribbly on this one. It's we're probably not going to make the dorm room itself editable anytime soon because it's a place where we need to be able to send you if you like get disconnected or something like that. So it's we can't be like loading stuff from the server while you're being disconnected. But what we do want to do is allow you to immediately spawn into one of your custom rooms or into any room that you want. So you could, instead of going to your dorm room when you load up the game, you could like go into your own designed room.
Oh, I like it.
Oh, nice.
Mm.
That's a good idea.
Good
I was
Gribbly
hiding
channel in there.
underneath the bleachers so no one found me.
Didn't sound Australian enough though.
I did not know.
Sorry.
Just hide underneath the bleachers, no one find you.
All right, we're gonna go Shoxic and then Jolly Dog. So Shoxic, what do you got?
My question is about the lights that were introduced. Love them, but is there ever going to be a function where we can change them to physical, so we can attach them to animated maker pen objects, so we can have rotating light shows and stuff like that?
That sounds good. Voda, do you know anything about the lights?
So if we could change the lights to physical, so we can attach them to like moving animated maker pen platforms, like Roach, for example. And then you can.
How expensive can we make them?
Yeah.
So making the lights physical, maybe.
Not like editable, but just that you could attach it to a maker pen
Right.
object, so it can be, so it can move along with one.
Yeah, I think that's entirely possible with a new thing that we're making in the next few sprints. I think we're gonna be making a lot of new things to make other things move. So hoping to expand on things being able to move with other things.
And smell my CPU burning.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, Jolly Dog, you're next. What do you got?
Are you aware of any performance issues with the Rec Royale? Because that's literally the only mode I cannot play.
Very aware.
We are working on it.
We have a bunch
Constantly.
of people working on that this week, Jelly Dog. That is one of the things we're spending a lot of time on before we launch it next week, is trying to get it more performant. Are you on PlayStation?
No.
What do you? Okay. Okay.
You can tell by his mic he's not on PlayStation.
That's even twice his work.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Control settings sucks so badly.
Claire Willows, what's your question?
I was thinking maybe like if you could add difficult levels for like the quest, I thought that'd be really cool. Like if you could add different difficult levels.
That would be cool.
So like you have one level for easy, one level for medium, one level for hard.
Radiant Blade, what do you think about difficulty levels for quests?
An extreme.
What?
Yeah, I got a brain freeze. That's a pretty popular suggestion. I think right now we probably wouldn't retroactively add it, but when around time we do another quest, it's something we would definitely consider factoring in.
All right. Next question is from CGB Splendor.
In the same sort of realm of what she said, I know you're busy with the Rec Royale and everything, but is the next quest somewhere on your radar at this point? Production of it?
Superhero
We're
quest.
still in the brainstorming phase.
That would be fun.
Okay.
Who just said that?
So, any suggestions you guys have? Anything you're particularly passionate about? The more, the better. We love to hear ideas and suggestions.
A quest where you can
The one
fly.
that said the superhero one?
Superheroes.
Yeah, superhero
Yeah,
quest. where you
superheroes
can
are here.
fly enabled everything.
Oh, that's interesting.
That would be cool.
Laser
You can
eyes,
punch the
power
goblins.
punches.
I want a DMV simulator
All right,
where
someone
you're at
start
the
a Reddit thread with all the superhero suggestions.
Why? Why do you want a DMV simulator?
Let's quiet down. Go to the next question. Someone who hasn't asked a question yet. General Combo, what's your question?
And we're gonna have anything where we can trade items that we don't want, like clothing, or
Oh.
sell it for more coins.
So, I'm sorry, what's your
He
question?
wants to be able to try on the clothes before he buys them.
No,
No, I
return
want
them.
to
Oh,
say
return
we
them?
don't
Oh.
like the clothes, can we
I
trade
see.
them for
But that
tokens?
too.
I get it.
Or say if I want to trade this for
idea.
Sure.
Trade with someone else.
Yeah, trading system.
We're not planning on any like trading in system yet, but we are looking at ways for players to give tokens and items to each other through various means. So that's stuff that we're exploring. We might get at some of what you're looking for, but no recycling system as of in the short term.
Commission circuits.
Yeah, same here.
We've heard that one before, yeah.
They're so tiny.
That is on our list as well. Yeah, being able to try on stuff from the store before you buy. Try before you buy.
Put them on your mini tar.
Yeah.
Zombie had one up.
Or like I think Nick said, a medium tar.
Medium to.
All right, Zombie, what's your question?
Alright, so I don't know if you can say this yet or if you haven't even thought of it, but the rewards for Rec Royale, is it going to be like a whole new currency or is it going to be tokens?
Backpack.
That's a secret.
I don't think we're saying yet. I
It's
think
gonna
it'll
be squirrel tails.
Yeah.
Squirrel tails.
I think it's more fun to not tell you guys yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the short term, it will work like
It
other
better be
activities
bees, I
in
swear,
terms
if
of
it's
earning
not bees.
tokens, but there's also a whole new system on top of that.
Alright, and another question. So with the RecNet update, you made it so all your old profile pictures were saved, but anything before the update wasn't saved. So can you make it so there's a way where you can put any picture on RecNet and make it your profile picture?
Oh.
Wait.
Like a photo album.
take a photo and just put it into RecNet. That'd be cool.
Oh, an outside image.
Like a photo from in-game.
So do you know how there's
any
like
photo you
three
tagged
dots
in.
you can click on in RecNet? And,
Yeah,
like, you can
yeah,
take a
okay.
picture?
So any of
Can
your
you make it
photos
so one
from
of
the
those options
game
is set as profile picture?
set as profile picture. Gotcha.
Yeah, I'll pass it on to Crumbs. I think that's a great suggestion.
That is a good suggestion. Mama Monkey's got a question from Twitch, I think.
All right, Mama Monkey, what do you got?
All right. This is a question from Crow on Twitch. He wants to know if there will be any stats about Rec Royale Alpha to be released. Things like top 25 leaderboard, total number of games played, total number of shots fired, and personal stats.
About the alpha?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
What
I
about
don't-
total number of
the alpha.
bees?
What about for just any other ones?
Radiant Blood, what do you think? Are we going to share stats with people?
So I just saw some of the stats that we gathered over the weekend. No current plans to share them, but if that ends up turning into a feature where we're surfacing leaderboards to the mode, I think we would share what we saw over the weekend.
Yeah, and Bilal has those numbers. If you guys want to bug Bilal on Discord or Reddit.
Yes.
I thought Bilal was on vacation.
No, he's
He
back.
is. Well, he's sick from vacation. Anyway.
Yeah.
All right, who's next?
Best time to
Check Wheel
bug him.
O'Neill, do you have a question?
Yeah, is there a reason why the baseball helmet is left-handed? Just a question.
All right.
Why is it represented?
Left.
Yeah. Lefties are underrepresented.
Okay, thanks.
There's no
Because that's
reason,
the
sorry.
side it was put on.
Yeah.
All right, Zion Bob, what's your question in the back?
Well, I think should we add like, oh god, I forgot, sorry, just...
Yeah, you might want to come up to the front.
Hey, Zion, Bob, come here.
He forgot his
Really
question.
sorry.
Hey,
Yeah, Zion forgot his question. That's all right. We'll go to
I'm really sorry, but
Let us
I'll
know,
think of
Zion.
it again. So,
who else? Someone who has not asked a question yet.
It's actually one on Twitch.
Oh, you got a Twitch question? Who's
Well,
doing
like
a Twitch
I
question?
saw this on Twitch. Like, there's a comment about stats. Will we be able to bet on who will be the winner or different?
Yes.
Wow.
Gambling. Yes.
This is gonna be great.
Radiant Blair, correct me if I'm wrong here, but I don't think we have any plans for gambling on Rec Royale results. No.
Hey kid, I bet you 1,000 tokens he's gonna win.
I mean, it's
Zion
gonna
Bob,
happen anyway. You might as well make it
remember the
official if you
question?
have.
Stay tuned for Rec Bet.
Wreck bet.
Quiet down, quiet down. Zion Bob, can you come down here?
More
I don't
hanging
think
out
everyone
places.
can hear you.
That's what he's asking. Hanging out places.
Okay.
More places to hang
I
out.
just want...
But, no, here he is.
Will arcades exist in Blackwood? Like you could, like, I'm not asking for like the people to get to go to Nintendo and get and use copyright and make claims in there. I want to make original arcade games, even parodies, and make them
Alright, so-
even playable, even ones that like you could like teleport into the game and play it that way.
Okay, alright, thanks.
Would that be possible?
So Zion Bob's question is he wants to make arcade games inside of Rec
Will
Room.
there be actual video games in Whitewood?
Calm down.
So yeah, I mean, I think we think of the custom rooms as kind of arcade games, right? Everyone's creating content for each other to play. Voda and his team are making it more and more rich in what you can create with that custom room stuff. So I think your idea, Zion, will be possible if it's not possible already. All right, I can play songs.
Will there be more sandbox rooms for customers?
Will there be more sandbox rooms for custom rooms? Do we have any plans for other rooms as a base to build your room on? Is that what you're talking about?
Probably if you have any specific
You guys, calm down.
If you have any specific requests for what other sorts of rooms would be good, let me know. I think ideally
my
what I would
God.
like is to give you the option to customize the maker room in various ways, like different lighting and different skyboxes. That's kind of a big system, like it's hard to make. We've been focusing on Rec Royale, so that might be in the future. I hope so. That'd be cool. We do want to give creators the power to make whatever sort of environment they want. So if you have a specific sort of location you'd like, let me know. And otherwise, just expect us to keep trying to improve that as we can.
Wait, look.
All right. Who's next? Who hasn't asked a question yet? Where are we at? Anyone see a hand from a new person?
Last one.
All right, let's open it up. If you've asked a question, you can ask another question. All right, Malcolm Flex, what do you got?
All right, so is there any plans? This is a creator question. At scalable objects, or like the glow sticks as scalable objects, or are there any plans to add like glowing objects, like take like a sphere and make it glowing?
I know I saw a glowing sphere in a demo here, but I don't know what our plans are to. I don't know if we have if it's performant enough yet to get it out there. But Voda or
Yeah, we
Auxilla?
would like to get as close to that as we can. Lighting is like the most expensive thing to do, and real-time lighting, is it drives down the amount of other stuff you can do. So we're trying to figure out ways to give you as much power there as we can, but not immediately. So don't hold your breath.
And what was the other thing about scalable objects?
Like scaling like the new lights, like the new stage lights, or like scaling like
Oh,
glow
I see.
sticks, like
So just like scaling regular sandbox machine objects?
yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Oh, a huge couch. That'd be awesome.
We hadn't thought about that, but it's a good suggestion. We might do that.
that idea.
There are definitely some challenges with some of them, like things with reloaders and other stuff attached to them. Like, I don't know how that would work like right off the bat, but it's definitely something we can think about. Thanks for a suggestion.
Yeah, cool. All right, Utini?
Okay, so I just finished a room that was kind of like a storytelling room and really used a lot with the samplers, which are awesome. I was just wondering if maybe there could be a way to add a toggle though to turn the sampler from 3D audio to just like regular audio. So it's not doing the 3D where it has a drop off. Case in point, I was using it to do a lot of sound design, like ambient sounds and like outside that I wanted to have hearing everywhere. But then I had to kind of place extra ones to try and get that full soundscape to be made. Whereas if the 3D sound was off, I could just drop one in and not have to waste this what little space it is, but for the samplers.
Yeah, I think there was a suggestion about this in Canny, and I thought it was a good idea. Like, I think it's there, and like, if a lot of people need it, it's definitely something we can add. It shouldn't be too hard. It just hasn't been top priority right now because we're trying to get something new to the custom room ecosystem right now, but it's definitely something that we can add in the future.
Okay.
Cool. All right, who else? All right, let's go back to beautiful HBL.
So I'm wondering if you would make the bios more visible from the main profile page instead of making it a separate page, or at least like a snippet of it, because I usually don't read people's bios because I have to click on it. But if it just appeared on the main profile page, I'd be way more likely to see what they wrote.
I totally agree with you. Yeah, the initial design for that was it all on one page. We had some issues with that, so we wanted to get it out. So we made a second page for it, which allowed us to ship it. But in the future, if we do another rep on profile page, which I would love to do, we'll try to get it all on one page. Yeah.
Cool. Check out my YouTube channel.
Like and subscribe. Okay. Who's got all right, really bad dragon.
Will stats from the alpha and beta versions of Royale, I almost said Rec Room, Royale carry over to the official release?
What kind of stats are you thinking about?
Wins, basically wins. That's all I'm concerned with.
Okay. Radiant player will go ahead, or whoever. Yeah.
I mean,
they
What if
definitely
we carry
will.
over losses? Yes.
Just
Only.
losses.
You can
Just
think of
losses.
You can think of release day forward as a clean slate.
That's gonna be a lot of losses, that's for sure.
How many bees stung me?
Many bees.
So many bees.
All right.
Too many bees.
Shub, do you have a question?
Yes. Since you already have the hang glider in the game, are you thinking about maybe adding a land vehicle like a motorcycle where you put both your hands on it?
Go-kart?
Go-karts? Sounds like a roundabout go-kart question to me. What do you think?
Go-karts question.
Yes!
Fighters are the new
That is a firm maybe.
And you could modify your
vehicles.
a firm maybe.
A firm maybe on
not
ground
go-karts.
vehicles. Yeah, on not go-karts. All right.
In all honesty, I think
I can play songs. What's your question?
Is there gonna be a possible delay to the release date for the Rec Royale?
Anything's possible, but we are holding firm to that date. We've made promises about that date, so we'd really like to ship on that date, which is next Thursday, the 7th. Lazy Gingy.
There's been a few. One is the main one is there any way that the players can help make Rec Room develop more? And what are the best ways to do that?
Canny.
Q&As. I mean,
Yeah, just Canny.
Be cool. Be cool to each other. Like,
Yes.
the less time we deal with trolls and reports, the more time we have to work.
Yeah, that's true. We'd love to hear your suggestions here on Discord, on Reddit, on Canny. Keep making great rooms. There's lots of
that's
great
what I was about
content.
to say. Yeah,
Go
like
for it.
you guys have been making so much content for other players in Rec Room, and that's just the best thing you guys can make. And that's why we're making all these tools. Like, basically, you guys are the ones that are going to be able to do more heavy lifting than just us in the studio, because you're just a lot more of you than there are of us. So
The army.
yeah, just keep making great content.
I think to Auxilla's point that the way people treat each other is a big part of our community. And in the early days, what we offered as games to play was entirely our taste. But we're now in a reality where people can make really cool experiences that get just as much attention as some of ours. And I think that's awesome. And the more we can invest in our tool set and make all the activities and experiences on offer in Rec Room a reflection of the community and their tastes, I think that's great.
Huzzah.
Also,
Is
there any way we can have the AI monsters from the quest be put in the custom rooms so you can make your own quest?
Frame rate.
I would love that. Motivator, we think that's possible.
I think it's possible in the long run. It has a lot of complications. Like the quests have a bunch of rules that allow all the enemies to work in there, and we have not yet done all the work that implicates just bringing those out into anything and being able to make the enemies follow paths on like maker pen objects and all that. It's just very complicated, and we do really want to do it, but it's a big piece of work, so we just haven't gotten to it yet.
We've also seen some people figure out some workarounds. I don't know if you've been to Sword Art Online, but they've got some enemies in there that you can attack and deal damage to. And I think some stuff that Voda's coming out with soon will add some more life to that. So yeah, there's stuff that's happening in the world that until we get those creatures in there, then you guys can kind of make your own. Okay, let's go CGB Spender.
Okay, two sort of related questions. I was just, I apologize if someone's asked this, but is the laser tag store just shut down?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I wouldn't, old. I wouldn't say it's shut down. It's still open. You can still buy stuff there.
That's not what he meant, and you know it.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, we're slowing down on updating the laser tag store at least. We're more focused on the store and the watch now. The thing that's coming with Rec Royale next week, you'll see, is a new way to get items. So laser tag store might get a refresh at some point in the future, but for now we're kind of putting it in the back burner.
Okay. But sort of related to that, any plan? I know you said Rec Royale, but any plans for like maybe one other laser tag map or something?
Thank you.
One other laser tag map? Radiant Polarity?
Yes.
Plans for another laser tag map?
Yeah, I think I've heard from the community quite a bit that relative to our other games, laser tag feels a bit underserved. So we're definitely taking that seriously. I think it's right up at the top of the conversations anytime we think about new things that aren't whole new activities, but just ways to pump some juice into our existing activities. So stay tuned. I would expect it's going to happen someday.
I'd love to put cheesy 80s neon all over another room.
Yeah. Oh, good. Gribbly did show up, it turns out. That's good.
All of them. Mom Monkey has another question from Twitch.
Oh, yeah. Mom Monkey, what do you got from Twitch?
All right. A question from Skelly Kid. He would like to know, where did your inspiration for Rec Royale come from? And I have another question from John Crow.
I wonder. Super Mario Brothers inspired you.
Ecco the Dolphin.
I'm Kirby.
Oh man, Echo.
Yeah, I'm back.
Echo.
Yay.
Brady, are you gonna take this or no?
Yeah, so the very infancy of this idea was something pretty crazy. We had very different ideas. One was like, hey, what if we did an entirely vehicles-based mode where people are ramping off of huge ramps and crashing in the air? But ultimately, we sourced to the community. The strongest requests we got from people at Q&As, from people posting on Reddit, was, hey, paintball's fun. I want to do a Battle Royale style game. So we just took the idea, the format of Battle Royale, didn't reinvent it, but we just kept asking ourselves, how does this work in Rec Room? What's the Rec Room flavor on this format? So that's where we get things like, well, it takes place in a national park because we have one person to build all the structures, and then we have an art team to make the entire island look nice. And so we had to make some scoping decisions of, well, it's got to be a relatively small island, and that's where we went with National Forest. And then that's where things like the bees came out. You know, what's a good way to close in our environment? It was based on our choice for what the setting was. And I always think that things that sound funny and hilarious, when we were brainstorming what our close-in mechanic could be, somebody said bees, and we all laughed and said that's ridiculous, and we kind of knew that was a good idea. So
not
the
bees.
Too many bees. So a long-winded way of saying, at our Q&As, we got a lot of requests for Battle Royale. We took that format and tried to make it make sense in Rec Room.
And also seeing all the Battle Royale games that were made by our community, like that was a clear signal.
Fortnite.
That we were on the right track, yeah. Mom, Monkey, you have a second question
Okay,
from Twitch?
yeah, this is from John Crow.
And that'll be our last question.
Okay, he would like to know if there's any chance that players could create voice or sound-based assets for others to use in-game. Basically, alternate options for coaches' voice lines, etc., that could be played with circuits or during game sequences. So instead of hearing Coach say, "It looks like you're the first one here,"
Looks like you're the first one
your
here.
Looks like you're the first one here.
I think you can set this now with the sampler and some circuits, right?
Yeah, I think so. Voda, can you speak to that?
So I think that goes to, like, they want to share what's in the sampler with other players, and I don't think we've thought particularly about that example, but we've definitely thought about how players are going to share the stuff they create with other players and take them to other rooms. And we do have plans to start doing that with MakerPen objects and circuits, and we want to be able to like package those into objects that you can share with other players and take to other rooms and kind of spawn and save just as you save and iterate on rooms. So I don't think it's that far-fetched to say that a sampler could be saved in the same way with its sounds or whatever, but we haven't particularly thought about that use.
Thanks everybody for coming out. We appreciate you.
All right, Gribbles are here. You can run now, Devs. Run. We'll